while. The Chattering Magpie here to read The Count of Monte Cristo, along with the rest of her merry gang of readers and bookworm fans. Hello, gang. How are you doing?
Hello.
Doing good.
Yeah, awesome. Oh my gosh, it feels like it's been forever, but we are so back. We have to finish this chapter, you guys. Chapter 73. I've been excited for it. The chapter before we got left on some important parts. So, golly, I can't wait to get into 73 because also 73 closes off volume 3, right? I think we are in volume 3, right? Volume 3, so that we can start with volume 4. So that's gonna be fun. I know that right now it's been a while since we last read it. Luckily for us, Ye is on top of it, and Ye is going to be the one to summarize the whole what we last read the previous time. But let's just kind of wait a bit to see if we can get like other people on the chat, or just kind of like see if there's other people want to hop aboard also on the voice. While we do, how's everybody been? Yay, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah, done anything interesting?
Mostly just helping my mom around and she recently had some surgery, so.
Oh, I hope she gets better.
She seems to be on the mend.
Okay, good, excellent. Happy to hear it. May she recover quickly, and you're a good one for helping her out. I know it can be a little challenging. Sometimes parents feel like they don't need their kids' help after surgery, but because that's how moms are. I don't know about your mom, but my mom's like, no, I can do. I'm like, no, mom. My mom got, I think it was gallbladder removal some time ago, and it wasn't like a huge thing. It was just like a tiny little like stitch, not tiny, but they did stitches, not as big as stitches. Like they didn't cut her open, but we're like, okay, mom, like helped her out of the car, and then like we live on the second story, right? So I'm like, okay, the doctor said you have to like go carefully, like actually go backwards to go up the stairs. So I'm like, let me just put the car away, close the door. By the time I had turned around and returned, she was already upstairs in her room. I'm like, Mom. Oh my gosh. It could have been the drugs too. It could have also been the drugs, but mom plus drugs, seriously, it's not a good combination apparently. And yes, she did burst one of her stitches, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Yeah, she did, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm very careful now when it comes to like my parents, because they're still stubborn, but I'm like, nope, you need help, you're gonna sit down or you're gonna get it.
Yeah, convincing my mom to go slowly is always a difficulty. But you know, we'll get there.
Yeah. Much patience to you, because that does also require a bit of patience too. All right, happy to have you here, Yay. Also, I have here a little purple butterfly. Butterfly, it's been a while. What's up? How you doing? I know you're busy doing something. Tell me about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's been a while since I've been here. It's felt like a year.
It does.
But yeah, I'm working on my cosplay for mid-August. So yeah, just a couple weeks left here to get it done.
What convention, or is it? What's the event that you're going to?
Well, it is a con, and it's one I went to last year. It's fairly close, and last year I got for my Ascendance of a Bookworm Rosamine cosplay first place for hobbyists. So
Yes.
this year I have to enter the professional cosplay.
Oh,
So I have to outdo myself this year.
wow, the bar has been set, and you set it yourself. Ah, how Rosamine-like. That is so Rosamine-like.
Yeah.
Cheers to you. I am now even more excited to see it. Not sure which outfit you're using. Do you want to tell us, or is that still a secret?
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to be I'm kind of doing a progression in the story. So last year I did her blue dress.
Mm-hmm.
So this year I'm doing a gold dress and I'll have the silver cloth for after Miss Gianora descended. So is it the whirling it's the
dress, or is
book
it
cover.
the book cover on part 5, volume
The book,
11? Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the book cover.
Nice.
So that's the one I'm doing.
Wow, that's gonna be sweet. I am so excited to see that. That's a pretty one.
Yes.
Make sure you don't use the silver cloth for evil purposes, though, okay?
Of course not.
All
It's to
right.
keep me from rampaging, don't you know?
Right? Yeah, it's both. It can also help from if you ever want to crush people, don't. Just, it can be both for naughty purposes and also for the protection of everybody else. All right, thank you for sharing. Again, we have a new channel in the server, and it is called the Cosplay Channel. I think it was, I don't know if it was you or Kate who requested it.
Kate suggested it because I was helping her with one of her cosplays.
Okay.
So,
all right.
yeah.
So there it is, just for you. And Kate, and whoever else wants to cosplay. All right, thanks for joining us, little purple butterfly. I know you're gonna be busy, but I'm glad that you're gonna be listening in. Feel free to, chirp in whenever you want. Just not when we're reading it. That's the only caveat. Teal, darling, how are you doing? Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I've upended my sleep schedule, but I'm more or less doing all right. I have my health. I just haven't done anything of note really in these past couple weeks.
You know what? That's all fine. You don't need to do anything of note to enjoy life, and I'm happy for you. Just sleep is not for the weak, so you should probably indulge in a little bit more, but that's the only remark I'll say. Because usually it's like I usually get like I'm kind of like the heat is like totally knocks me off. I'm just been not feeling good at all these past 2 weeks. So then by the time the sun goes down and like the fresh evening breeze blows in, it's like 5-6 o'clock, and I suddenly get my first wind, and I'm like, okay, it's time to work. so that's when I feel energized, and that's when I feel good. And so 11 o'clock rolls around. I'm like, yeah, usually by this time I should try to go to bed, but nope. 11, 12, 1, and then I'm like, okay, fine, I guess I have to go to sleep. But yeah, it's a challenge. All I have to say is, as a fellow night owl, I feel ya. Hang in there, drink some water, and I'll send you some hugs.
Thank you.
All right, darlings. I know there's other folk that wish they could be here with us, but I know Yukihime is traveling, and I believe also Patrick. So we don't get to have them today, but I'm sure that they'll join us next week, hopefully, as we pick up on the next chapter. But today we have a very exciting chapter titled The Promise, and we've been waiting quite a while to get to this one. So, but before we do so, just want to ask Ye if he could kindly fill us in on what happened on chapter 72.
Absolutely. Last time, on the Count of Monte Cristo, Madame de Saint-Méran believed she wasn't long for this world. Her husband had passed away not long ago, and now she was visited by specters in the night, seemingly emerging from Madame de Villefort's room to do something with her orangeade. She came to Paris to call for Valentine, to arrange both her own coming funeral and for the wedding of Valentine to Franz d'Epinay, to ensure the transfer of the Saint-Méran estate to her via her husband. To this end, she insisted a notary visit her to make arrangements. Both Gerard de Villefort and Valentine, however, insisted on calling upon Dr. Diavenet to investigate her health. For his part, Dr. Diavenet seemed concerned that both Saint-Méran were in such a state, seeming to suspect some kind of foul play. Is Madame de Saint-Méran's fear prophetic? Will Dr. Diavenet find the root of this problem? How will Valentine cancel the wedding to Franz d'Epinay and be with Maximillien Morrel? Will Madame de Saint-Méran grow healthy if she drinks something healthy like Dr. Pepper? Find out today on the Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh gosh, thank you. And I love the fact that you were able to insert one of the Dr. Peppers, the unofficial sponsor of this channel. So yeah, thank you, Yay. Yeah, everything like slowly as you narrate, I'm like, oh yeah, I've forgotten about that. So yes, that was very, very helpful. Yeah. There's absolutely no shady going on around this house. The Villefort house is full of innocent people, good people.
Who would never do anything bad.
Right?
Like Valentine. Valentine is definitely up to nothing. Wait, no, that actually is true. Also, hi, Patrick.
Yeah, hey, Patrick's on the chat. Hello. Miss you, buddy. Hopefully you can join us next time. All right, darlings. I believe that catches us up. Wish us luck as we pronounce these foul British, French words. I was also struggling with them, so I'm sorry.
Don't worry, we don't have Ed to embarrass here this time.
Yeah, Ed's not here to cringe at our attempts. So let's do this, everybody. Chapter 73. The Promise. Oh, by the way, today, yes, today, reading are the following people. I'm rusty, you guys. Maximillien Morrel is going to be read by Teal. Valentine de Villefort is going to be read by me, Magpie. The Procureur is going to be Yay. Dr. Debrigny is going to be Teal. Gerard de Villefort is going to be Yay. And Monsieur Nortier is Magpie. Oh, that is me. And today's highlighter MVP is Yay. So if there's any errors, you guys know who to... Kidding. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating and for being here. Let's do this. Ooh, who's the anonymous grizzly? Okay, You are the anonymous grizzly. Okay. All right, here we go. Chapter 73. The Promise. It was indeed Maximillien Morrel who had passed a wretched existence since the previous day. With the instinct peculiar to lovers, he had anticipated after the return of Madame de Saint-Méran and the death of the Marquis that something would occur at Monsieur de Villefort's in connection with his attachment for Valentine. His presentiments were realized, as we shall see, and his uneasy forebodings had goaded him pale and trembling to the gate under the chestnut trees. Valentine was ignorant of the cause of this sorrow and anxiety, and, as it was not his accustomed hour for visiting her, she had gone to the spot simply by accident, or perhaps through sympathy. Morrel called her, and she ran to the gate. Oh, is that me? That is me, huh? Oh, shit, sorry. Hold on a sec, I think I did something. Okay. Morrel called her, and she ran to the gate. You here at this hour?
And to hear bad tidings.
This is indeed a house of mourning. Speak, Maximillien, although the cup of sorrow seems already full.
Dear Valentine.
I'm sorry, you guys. My thing went away. I lost my place. I lost my place. Cup of sorrow. I'm doing... Okay, here we go. Sorry, I'm gonna start again from the top, because I guess...
Yeah.
I don't know why it's... Okay. Valentine was ignorant of the cause of this sorrow and anxiety, and as it was not his accustomed hour for visiting her, she had gone to the spot simply by accident, or perhaps through sympathy. Morrel called her, and she ran to the gate. "You here at this hour?" said she.
Yes, my poor girl. I come to bring and to hear bad tidings.
"This is indeed a house of mourning," said Valentine. "Speak, Maximillien, although the cup of sorrow already seems full."
Dear Valentine,
said Morrel, endeavoring to conceal his own emotion.
listen, I entreat you. What I am about to say is very serious. When are you to be married?
"I will tell you all. From you have nothing to conceal. This morning the subject was introduced, and my dear grandmother, on whom I depended as my only support, not only declared herself favorable to it, but is so anxious for it that they only await the arrival of Monsieur d'Épinay, and the following day the contract will be signed." A deep sigh escaped the young man, who gazed long and mournfully at her he loved.
Alas, it is dreadful thus to hear my condemnation from your own lips. The sentence is passed, and in a few hours will be executed. It must be so, and I will not endeavor to prevent it. But since you say nothing remains but for Monsieur d'Épinay to arrive that the contract may be signed, and the following day you will be his, tomorrow you will be engaged to Monsieur d'Épinay, for he came this morning to Paris.
Valentine uttered a cry.
I was at the house of Monte Cristo an hour since. We were speaking. He of the sorrow of your family had experienced, and I of your grief, when a carriage rolled into the courtyard. Never till then had I placed any confidence in presentiments, but now I cannot help believing them, Valentine. At the sound of that carriage I shuddered. Soon I heard steps on the staircase, which terrified me as much as the footsteps of the commander did Don Juan. The door At last it opened. Albert de Morcerf entered first, and I began to hope my fears were in vain, when, after him, another young man advanced, and the Count exclaimed, "Ah, here is the Baron Franz d'Épinay." I summoned all my strength and courage to my support. Perhaps I turned pale and trembled, but certainly I smiled, and 5 minutes after I left, without having heard one word that had passed.
"Poor Maximillien!"
Valentine, the time has arrived when you must answer me. And remember, my life depends on your answer. What do you intend doing?
Valentine held down her head. She was overwhelmed.
Listen, it is not the first time you have contemplated our present position, which is a serious and urgent one. I do not think it is a moment to give way to useless sorrow. Leave that for those who like to suffer at their leisure and indulge their grief in secret. There are such in the world, and God will doubtless reward them in heaven for their resignation on earth. But those who mean to contend must not lose one precious moment, but must return immediately the blow for which fortune strikes. Do you intend to struggle against our ill fortune? Tell me, Valentine, for it is that I came to know.
Valentine trembled and looked at him with amazement. The idea of resisting her father, her grandmother, and all the family had never occurred to her. What do you say, Maximillien? What do you mean by a struggle? Oh, it would be a sacrilege. What? I resist my father's order and my dying grandmother's wish? Impossible! Morrel started. You're too noble not to understand me, and you understand me so well that you already yield, dear Maximillien. No, no, I shall need all my strength to struggle with myself and support my grief in secret, as you say. But to grieve my father, to disturb my grandmother's last moments, never.
You are right,
said Morrel calmly. In what tone you speak?
I speak as one who admires you, mademoiselle.
Mademoiselle! Mademoiselle! Oh, selfish man! He sees me in despair and pretends he cannot understand me.
You mistake. I understand you perfectly. You will not oppose Monsieur Villefort. You will not displease the Marchioness. And tomorrow you will sign the contract which will bind you to your husband.
But, oh mon Dieu, tell me, how can I do otherwise?
Do not appeal to me, mademoiselle. I shall be a bad judge in such a case. My selfishness will blind me,
replied Morrel, whose low voice and clenched hands announced his growing desperation. What would you have proposed, Maximillien, had you found me willing to accede?
Not for me to say.
You are wrong. You must advise me what to do.
Do you seriously ask my advice, Valentine?
Certainly, dear Maximillien, for if it is good, I will follow it. You know my devotion to you.
Valentine,
said Morrel, pushing aside a loose plank.
Give me your hand in token of forgiveness of my anger. My senses are confused, and during the last hour the most extravagant thoughts have passed through my brain. Oh, if you refuse my advice.
What do you advise? Said Valentine, raising her eyes to heaven and sighing.
I am free, and rich enough to support you. I swear to make you my lawful wife before my lips even shall have approached your forehead.
You make me tremble.
Follow me. I will take you to my sister, who is worthy also to be yours. We will embark for Algiers, for England, for America, or, if you prefer it, retire to the country and only return to Paris when our friends have reconciled your family.
Valentine shook her head. I feared it, Maximillien. It is the counsel of a madman, and I should be more mad than you, did I not stop you at once with the word impossible, Morrel, impossible.
You will then submit to what fate decrees for you, without even attempting to contend with it?
Asked Morrel sorrowfully. Yes, if I die.
Well, Valentine, I can only say again that you are right. Truly, it is I who am mad, and you prove to me that passion blinds the most well-meaning. I appreciate your calm reasoning. It is then understood that tomorrow you will be irrevocably promised to Monsieur Franz d'Epinay, not only by that theatrical formality invented to heighten the effect of a comedy called the signature of the contract, but your own will?
Again you drive me to despair, Maximillien. Again you plunge the dagger into the wound. What would you do, tell me, if your sister listened to such a proposition?
Mademoiselle,
replied Morrel with a bitter smile.
I am selfish. You have already said so, and as a selfish man, I think not of what others would do in my situation, but what if I intend doing myself. I think only that I have known you not a whole year. From the day I first saw you, all my hopes of happiness have been in securing your affection. One day you acknowledged that you loved me, and since that day my hope of future happiness has rested on obtaining you, for to gain you would be life to me. Now I think no more. I say only that fortune has turned against me. I had thought to gain heaven, and now I have lost it. It is an everyday occurrence for a gambler to lose not only what he possesses, but also what he has not.
Morrel pronounced these words with perfect calmness. Valentine looked at him a moment with her large scrutinizing eyes, endeavoring not to let Morrel discover the grief which struggled in her heart. "But, in a word, what are you going to do?" asked she.
I'm going to have the honor of taking my leave of you, mademoiselle, solemnly assuring that I wish your life may be so calm, so happy, and so fully occupied that there may be no place for me even in your memory.
"Oh!"
Adieu, Valentine. Adieu.
said Morrel, bowing. "Where are you going?" cried the young girl, extending her hand through the opening and seizing Maximillien by his coat, for she understood from her own agitated feelings that her lover's calmness could not be real. "Where are you going?"
I am going, that I may not bring fresh trouble into your family, and to set an example which every honest and devoted man, situated as I am, may follow.
"Before you leave me, tell me what you're going to do, Maximillien." The young man smiled sorrowfully. "Speak, speak, I entreat you."
Has your resolution changed, Valentine?
"It cannot change. Unhappy man, you know it must not."
Then adieu, Valentine.
Valentine shook the gate with a strength of which she could not have been supposed to be possessed, as Morrel was going away, and passing both her hands through the opening, she clasped and wrung them. "I must know what you mean to do. Where are you going?"
Oh, fear not.
Maximillien said, stopping at a short distance.
I do not intend to render another man responsible for the rigorous fate reserved for me. Another might threaten to seek Monsieur Franz, to provoke him, and fight with him. All that would be folly. What has Monsieur Franz to do with it? He saw me this morning for the first time, and has already forgotten he has seen me. He did not even know I existed when it was arranged by your two families that you should be united. I have no enmity against Monsieur Franz, and promise you the punishment shall not fall on him.
"On whom, then? On me?"
On you? Valentine. Oh, heaven forbid. Woman is sacred. The woman one loves is holy.
"On yourself, then. Unhappy man, on yourself?"
I am the only guilty person, am I not?
"Maximillien! Maximillien, come back! I entreat you!" He drew near with his sweet smile, and but for his paleness, one might have thought him in his usual happy mood.
Listen, my dear, my adored Valentine,
said he in his melodious and grave tone.
Those who, like us, have never had a thought for which we need blush before the world, such may read each other's hearts. I never was romantic, and am no melancholy hero. I imitate neither Manfred nor Anthony, but without words, protestations, or vows. My life has entwined itself with yours. You leave me, and you are right in doing so. I repeat it, you are right, but in losing you, I lose my life. The moment you leave me, Valentine, I am alone in the world. My sister is happily married. Her husband is my brother-in-law. That is, a man whom the ties of social life alone attach to me. No one then longer needs my useless life. This is what I shall do. I will wait until the very moment you are married, for I will not lose the shadow of one of those unexpected chances which are sometimes reserved for us, since Monsieur Franz may, after all, die before that time. A thunderbolt may fall, even on the altar as you approach it. Nothing appears impossible to one condemned to die. And miracles appear quite reasonable when his escape from death is concerned. I will then wait until the last moment, and when my misery is certain, irredeemable, hopeless, I will write a confidential letter to my brother-in-law, another to the prefect of police, to acquaint them with my intention, and at the corner of some wood, on the brink of some abyss, on the bank of some river, I will put an end to my existence, as certainly as I am the son of the most honest man who ever lived in France.
Valentine trembled convulsively. She loosened her hold of the gate. Her arms fell by her side, and 2 large tears rolled down her cheeks. The young man stood before her, sorrowful and resolute. "Oh, for pity's sake! You will live, will you not?"
No, on my honor. But that will not affect you. You have done your duty, and your conscience will be at rest.
Valentine fell on her knees and pressed her almost bursting heart. "Maximillien! Maximillien, my friend, my brother on earth, my true husband in heaven, I entreat you, do as I do. Live in suffering. Perhaps we may be one day be united."
Adieu, Valentine,
repeated Morrel. Said Valentine, raising both her hands to heaven with a sublime expression. "I've done my utmost to remain a submissive daughter. I've begged, entreated, implored. He has regarded neither my prayers, my entreaties, nor my tears. It is done," cried she, wiping away her tears and resuming her firmness. "I am resolved not to die of remorse, but rather of shame. Live, Maximillien, and I will be yours. Say, when shall it be? Speak, command, I will obey." Morrel, who had already gone some few steps away, again returned, and pale with joy extended both hands towards Valentine through the opening.
Valentine, dear Valentine, you must not speak thus. Rather let me die. Why should I obtain you by violence, if our love is mutual? Is it from mere humanity you bid me live? I would then rather die.
"Truly, who on this earth cares for me if he does not? Who has consoled me in my sorrow but he? On whom do my hopes rest? On whom does my bleeding heart repose? On him, always on him. Yes, you are right, Maximillien. I will follow you. I will leave the paternal home. I will give up all. Oh, ungrateful girl that I am," cried Valentine, sobbing. "I will give up all, even my dear old grandfather, whom I had nearly forgotten."
No, you shall not leave him. Monsieur Noirtier has evinced, you say, a kind feeling towards me. Well, before you leave, tell him all. His consent would be your justification in God's sight. As soon as we are married, he shall come and live with us. Instead of 1 child, he shall have 2. You have told me how you talk to him and how he answers you. I shall very soon learn that language by signs, Valentine, and I promise you solemnly that instead of despair, it is happiness that awaits us.
"Oh, see, Maximillien, see the power you have over me. You almost make me believe you. And yet, what you tell me is madness, for my father will curse me. He is inflexible. He will never pardon me. Now listen to me, Maximillien. If by artifice, by entreaty, by accident, in short, if by any means I can delay this marriage, will you wait?"
Yes, I promise you, as faithfully as you have promised me that this horrible marriage shall not take place, and that if you are dragged before a magistrate or a priest, you will refuse.
I promise you by all that is the most sacred to me in the world, namely, by my mother.
We will wait then.
Yes, we will wait, replied Valentine, who revived at these words. There are so many things which may save unhappy beings such as we are.
I rely on you, Valentine. All you do will be well done, only if they disregard your prayers. If your father and Madame de Saint-Méran insist that Monsieur d'Épinay should be called tomorrow to sign the contract.
Then you have my promise, Maximillien.
Instead of signing,
I will go to you, and we will fly. But from this moment until then, let us not tempt Providence. Let us not see each other. It is a miracle. It is a providence that we have not been discovered. If we were surprised, if it were known that we met thus, we should have no further resource.
you are right, Valentine. But how shall I ascertain?
From the notary, Monsieur Deschamps.
I know him.
And for myself, I will write to you. Depend on me. I dread this marriage, Maximillien, as much as you.
Thank you, my adored Valentine. Thank you. That is enough. When once I know the hour, I will hasten to the spot. You can easily get over this fence with my assistance. A carriage will await us at the gate, in which you will accompany me to my sisters. There living, retired or mingling in society, as you wish, we shall be enabled to use our power to resist oppression, and not suffer ourselves to be put to death like sheep, which only defend themselves by sighs.
Yes, I will now acknowledge you are right, Maximillien. And now, are you satisfied with your betrothal?
My adored Valentine, words cannot express one half of my satisfaction.
Valentine had approached, or rather had placed her lips so near the fence that they nearly touched those of Morrel, which were pressed against the other side of the cold and inexorable barrier. Adieu, then, till we meet again, said Valentine, tearing herself away. I shall hear from you?
Yes.
Thanks. Thanks, dear love. Adieu. The sound of a kiss was heard, and Valentine fled through the avenue. Morrel listened to catch the last sound of her dress brushing the branches and of her footstep on the gravel, then raised his eyes with an ineffable smile of thankfulness to heaven for being permitted to be thus loved, and then also disappeared. The young man returned home and waited all the evening and all the next day without getting any message. It was only on the following day, at about 10 o'clock in the morning, as he was starting to call on Monsieur Deschamps, the notary, that he received from the postman a small billet, which he knew to be from Valentine, although he had not seen her writing. It was to this effect: Tears, entreaties, prayers have availed me nothing. Yesterday, for 2 hours, I was at the church of Saint Philippe de Roule, and for 2 hours I prayed most fervently. Heaven is as inflexible as a man, and the signature of the contract is fixed for this evening at 9 o'clock. I have but one promise and but one heart to give. That promise is pledged to you. The heart is also yours. This evening, then, at 9:15, at the gate. Your betrothed, Valentine de Villefort. P.S. My poor grandmother gets worse and worse. Yesterday her fever amounted to delirium. Today her delirium is almost madness. You will be very kind to me, will you not, Morrel, to make me forget my sorrow in leaving her thus? I think it is kept a secret from Grandpapa Noirtier, and the contract is to be signed this evening. Morrel also went to the notary, who confirmed the news that the contract was to be signed that evening. Then he went to call on Monte Cristo, and heard still more. Franz had been to announce the ceremony, and Madame de Villefort had also written to beg the Count to excuse her not inviting him. The death of Monsieur de Saint-Méran and the dangerous illness of his widow could cast a gloom over their meeting, which she would regret would be shared by the Count, whom she wished every happiness. The day before, Franz had been presented to Madame de Saint-Méran, who had left her bed to receive him, but had been obliged to return to it immediately after. It is easy to suppose that Morel's agitation would not escape the Count's penetrating eye. Monte Cristo was more affectionate than ever. Indeed, his manner was so kind that several times Morel was on the point of telling him all, but he recalled the promise he had made to Valentine and kept his secret. The young man read Valentine's letter 20 times in the course of the day. It was her first, and on what occasion? Each time he read it, he renewed his vow to make her happy. How great is the power of a woman who has made so courageous a resolution! What devotion does she deserve from him for whom she has sacrificed everything? How ought she really to be supremely loved? She becomes at once a queen and a wife, and it is impossible to thank and love her sufficiently. Morel longed intensely for the moment when he could hear Valentine say, "Here I am, Maximillien. Come and help me." He had arranged everything for her escape. 2 ladders were hidden in the clover field. A cabriolet was ordered for Maximillien alone, without servant, without lights. At the turning of the first street, they would give the lamps, as it would be foolish to attract the notice of police by too many precautions. Occasionally, he shuddered. He thought of the moment when, from the top of that wall, he should protect the descent of his dear Valentine, pressing his arms for the first time, her of whom he had yet only kissed the delicate hand. When the afternoon arrived, and he felt that the hour was drawing near, he wished for solitude. His agitation was extreme. A simple question from a friend would have irritated him. He shut himself in his room and tried to read, but his eye glanced over the page without understanding a word, and he threw away the book, and for the second time sat down to sketch his plan, the ladders, and the fence. At length, the hour drew near. Never did a man deeply in love allow the clocks to go on peacefully. Morel tormented his so effectually that they struck 8 at 6:30. He then said,
It is time to start. The signature was indeed fixed to take place at 9 o'clock, but perhaps Valentine will not wait for that.
Consequently, Morel, having left the Rue de Meslay at 8:30 by his timepiece, entered the clover field while the clock of Saint Philippe du Roule was striking 8. The horse and cabriolet were concealed behind the small ruin where Morel had often waited. Then, hold on. Sorry. I lost my place. Sorry, you guys. Okay, here we go. The clock struck 8:30. Oh, wait. No, I'll go back to the night. The night gradually drew on, and the foliage in the garden assumed a deeper hue. Then Morel came out from his hiding place with a beating heart, and looked through the small opening in the gate. There was yet no one to be seen. The clock struck 8:30, and still another half-hour was passed in waiting, while Morel walked to and fro, and gazed more and more frequently through the opening. The garden became darker still, but in the darkness he looked in vain for the white dress, and in the silence he vainly listened for the sound of footsteps. The house, which was discernible through the trees, remained in darkness, and gave no indication that so important an event as the signature of a marriage contract was going on. Morel looked at his watch, which wanted 9:15, but soon the same clock he had already heard strike 2 or 3 times rectified the error by striking 9:30. This was already half an hour past the time Valentine had fixed. It was a terrible moment for the young man. The slightest rustling of the foliage, the least whistling of the wind, attracted his attention and drew the perspiration to his brow. He tremblingly fixed his ladder and, not to lose a moment, placed his foot on the first step. Amidst all these alterations of hope and fear, the clock struck 10.
It is impossible that the signing of a contract should occupy so long a time without unexpected interruptions. I have weighed all the chances, calculated the time required for all the forms. Something must have happened.
And then he walked rapidly to and fro and pressed his burning forehead against the fence. Had Valentine fainted, or had she been discovered and stopped in her flight? These were the only obstacles which appeared possible to the young man. The idea that her strength had failed her in an attempt to escape, and that she had fainted in one of those paths, was the one that most impressed itself upon his mind.
In that case, I should lose her, and by my own fault.
He dwelt on the idea for a moment. Then it appeared reality. He even thought he could perceive something on the ground at a distance. He ventured to call, and it seemed to him that the wind wafted back an almost inarticulate sigh. At last the half-hour struck. It was impossible to wait longer. His temples throbbed violently, his eyes were growing dim. He passed one leg over the wall, and in a moment leaped down on the other side. He was on Villefort's premises, had arrived there by scaling the wall. What might be the consequences? However, he had not ventured thus far to draw back. He followed a short distance close under the wall, then crossed the path, He'd entered a clump of trees. In a moment he passed through them, and he could see the house distinctly. Then Morrel saw that he had been right in believing that the house was not illuminated. Instead of lights at every window, as is customary on days of ceremony, he saw only a grey mass, which was veiled also by a cloud, which at that moment obscured the moon's feeble light. A light moved rapidly from time to time past 3 windows of the second floor. These 3 windows were in Madame de Saint-Méran's room. Another remained motionless behind some red curtains, which were in Madame de Villefort's room. Morrel guessed all this. So many times, in order to follow Valentine in thought at every hour in the day, he had made her describe the whole house, that without being seen, he knew it all. This darkness and silence alarmed Morrel still more than Valentine's absence had done. Almost mad with grief and determined to venture everything in order to see Valentine once more and be certain of the misfortune he feared, Morrel gained the edge of the clump of trees and was going to pass as quickly as possible through the flower garden when the sound of a voice, still at some distance, but which was borne upon the wind, reached him. At this sound, he was already partially exposed to view. He stepped back and concealed himself completely, remaining perfectly motionless. He had formed his resolution. If it was Valentine alone, he would speak as she passed. If she was accompanied and he could not speak, still he should see her and know that she was safe. If they were strangers, he would listen to their conversation and might understand something of this hitherto incomprehensible mystery. The moon had just then escaped from behind the cloud which concealed it, and Morrel saw Villefort come out upon the steps, followed by a gentleman in black. They descended and advanced toward the clump of trees, and Morrel soon realized the other gentleman as Dr. d'Averny. The young man, seeing them approach, drew back mechanically until he found himself stopped by a sycamore tree in the center of the clump. There he was compelled to remain. Soon the 2 gentlemen stopped also.
Ah, my dear doctor.
Said
Heavens declares itself.
Sorry.
Heaven declares itself against my house. Oh, I guess this is, whatever. What a dreadful death! What a blow! Seek not to console me. Alas, nothing can alleviate so great a sorrow. The wound is too deep and too fresh. Dead. Dead.
So
I think
that is Villefort.
I think it's actually Villefort, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
You wanna go on the top and give your Villefort voice?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, my dear doctor, heaven declares itself against my house. What a dreadful death! What a blow! Seek not to console me. Alas, nothing can alleviate so great a sorrow. The wound is too deep and too fresh. Death. Dead. Dead.
The cold sweat sprang to the young man's brow, and his teeth chattered. Who could be dead in that house which Villefort himself had called accursed?
My dear Monsieur de Villefort,
Replied the doctor, with a tone which redoubled the terror of the young man.
I have not led you here to console you. On the contrary.
What can you mean?
Asked the procureur, alarmed.
I mean that behind the misfortune which has just happened to you, there is another, perhaps still greater.
Can it be possible?
Murmured Villefort, clasping his hands.
What are you going to tell me?
Are we quite alone, my friend?
Yes, quite. But why all these precautions?
Because I have a terrible secret to communicate to you. Let us sit down.
Villefort fell, rather than seated himself. The doctor stood before him, with one hand placed on his shoulders. Morrel, horrified, supported his head with one hand, and with the other pressed at his heart, lest its beating should be heard.
Dead. Dead.
Repeated he within himself, and he felt as if he were also dying.
Speak, doctor. I am listening. Strike. I am prepared for everything. I think that might have been the doctor.
Madame de Saint-Méran was doubtless advancing in years, but she enjoyed excellent health.
Morrel began again to breathe freely, which he had not done during the last 10 minutes.
Grief has consumed her. Yes, grief, doctor. After living 40 years with the Marquis.
It is not grief, my dear Villefort. Grief may kill, although it rarely does, and never in a day, never in an hour, never in 10 minutes.
Villefort answered nothing. He simply raised his head, which had been cast down before, and looked at the doctor with amazement.
Were you present during the last struggle?
Asked Monsieur d'Aberny.
I was. You begged me not to leave.
Did you notice the symptoms of the disease to which Madame de Saint-Méran had fallen a victim?
I did. Madame de Saint-Méran had 3 successive attacks at intervals of some minutes, each one more serious than the former. When you arrived, Madame de Saint-Méran had already been panting for breath some minutes. She then had a fit, which I took to be simply a nervous attack, and it was only when I saw her raise herself in the bed and her limbs and neck appeared stiffened that I became really alarmed. Then I understood from your countenance that there was more to fear than I had thought. This crisis past, I endeavored to catch your eye, but could not. You held her hand, you were feeling her pulse, and the second fit came on before you had turned towards me. This was more terrible than the first. The same nervous movements were repeated, and the mouth contracted and turned purple.
And at the third she expired.
At the end of the first attack, I discovered symptoms of tetanus. You confirmed my opinion?
Yes, before others. But now we are alone.
What are you going to say? Oh, spare me.
That the symptoms of tetanus and poisoning by vegetable substances are the same.
Monsieur de Villefort started from his seat, then in a moment fell down again, silent and motionless. Morrel knew not if he were dreaming or awake.
Listen, I know the full importance of the statement I have just made, and the disposition of the man to whom I have made it.
Do you speak to me as a magistrate or as a friend?
As a friend, and only as a friend, at this moment. The similarity in the symptoms of tetanus and poisoning by vegetable substances is so great that were I obliged to affirm by oath what I have now stated, I should hesitate. I therefore repeat to you, I speak not to a magistrate, but to a friend. And to that friend I say, during the 3/4 of an hour that the struggle continued, I watched the convulsions and the death of Madame de Saint-Méran, and am thoroughly convinced that not only did her death proceed from poison, but I could also specify the poison.
Can it be possible?
The symptoms are marked, do you see? Sleep broken by nervous spasms, excitation of the brain, torpor of the nerve centers. Madame de Saint-Méran succumbed to a powerful dose of brucine or strychnine, which by some mistake, perhaps, has been given to her.
Villefort seized the doctor's hand.
Oh, it is impossible. I must be dreaming. It is frightful to hear such things from such a man as you. Tell me, I entreat you, my dear doctor, that you may be deceived.
Doubtless I may, but
But
I do not think so.
have pity on me, doctor. So many dreadful things have happened to me lately, and I am on the verge of madness.
Has anyone besides me seen Madame de Saint-Méran?
No,
Has anything been sent for from a chemist's that I have not examined?
nothing.
Had Madame de Saint-Méran any enemies?
Not to my knowledge.
Would her death affect anyone's interest?
It could not indeed. My daughter is her only heiress, Valentine alone. Oh, if such a thought could present itself, I would stab myself to punish my heart for having one instant harbored it.
Indeed, my dear friend, I would not accuse anyone. I speak only of an accident, you understand, of a mistake. But whether accident or mistake, the fact is there. It is on my conscience and compels me to speak aloud to you. Make inquiry.
Of whom? How? Of what?
May not Berrois, the old servant, have made a mistake and have given Madame de Saint-Méran a dose prepared for his master?
For my father.
Yes.
But how could a dose prepared for Monsieur Nautier poison Madame de Saint-Méran?
Well, nothing is more simple. You know poisons become remedies in certain diseases, of which paralysis is one. For instance, having tried every other remedy to restore movement and speech to Monsieur Nautier, I resolved to try one last means, and for 3 months I have been giving him brucine, so that in the last dose I ordered for him there were 6 grains. This quantity, which is perfectly safe to administer to the paralyzed frame of Monsieur Nautier, which has become gradually accustomed to it, would be sufficient to kill another person.
My dear doctor, there is no communication between Monsieur Nautier's apartment and that of Madame de Saint-Méran, and Berrois never entered my mother-in-law's room. In short, doctor, although I know you to be the most conscientious man in the world, and although I place the utmost reliance in you, I want, notwithstanding my conviction, to believe this axiom: errare humanum est.
Is there one of my brethren in whom you have equal confidence with myself?
Why do you ask me that? What do you wish?
Send for him. I will tell him what I have seen, and we will consult together and examine the body.
And you will find traces of poison.
No, I did not say of poison, but we can prove what was the state of the body. We shall discover the cause of her sudden death, and we shall say, Dear Villefort, if this thing has been caused by negligence, watch over your servants. If from hatred, watch her enemies.
What do you propose to me, Diavane? So soon as another is admitted into our secret, an inquest will be necessary, and an inquest in my house impossible. Still,
continued the procureur, looking down at the doctor with uneasiness.
if you wish it, if you demand it, why, then it shall be done. But, doctor, you see me already so grieved. How can I introduce into my house so much scandal after so much sorrow? My wife and my daughter would die of it. And I, doctor, you know a man does not arrive at the post I occupy. One has not been the king's attorney 25 years without having amassed a tolerable number of enemies. Mine are numerous. Let this affair be talked of, and it will be a triumph for them, which will make them rejoice and cover me with shame. Pardon me, doctor, these worldly ideas. Where you are a priest, I should not dare tell you that. But you are a man, and you know mankind. Doctor, pray recall your words. You have said nothing, have you?
My dear Monsieur de Villefort, my first duty is to humanity. I would have saved Madame de Saint-Méran if science could have done it. But she is dead, and my duty regards the living. Let us bury this terrible secret in the deepest recesses of our hearts. I am willing, if anyone should suspect this, that my silence on the subject should be imputed to my ignorance. Meanwhile, sir, watch always. Watch carefully, for perhaps the evil may not stop here. And when you have found the culprit, if you find him, I will say to you, you are a magistrate, do as you will.
Thank you, doctor.
Said Villefort with indescribable joy.
I never had a better friend than you.
And, as if he feared Dr. d'Abergny would recall his promise, he hurried him toward the house. When they were gone, Morrel ventured out from under the trees, and the moon shone upon his face, which was so pale it might have been taken for that of a ghost.
I am manifestly protected in a most wonderful but most terrible manner. But Valentine, poor girl, how will she bear so much sorrow?
As he thought thus, he looked alternately at the window with red curtains and the 3 windows with white curtains. The light had almost disappeared from the former. Doubtless Madame de Villefort had just put out her lamp, and the night lamp alone reflected its dull light on the window. At the extremity of the building, on the contrary, he saw one of the 3 windows open. A wax light placed on the mantelpiece threw some of its pale rays without, and a shadow was seen for a moment on the balcony. Morrel shuddered. He thought he heard a sob. It cannot be wondered that at that his mind, generally so courageous, but now disturbed by the 2 strongest human passions, love and fear, was weakened even to the indulgence of superstitious thoughts. Although it was impossible that Valentine should see him, hidden as he was, he thought he heard the shadow at the window call him. His disturbed mind told him so. This double error became an irresistible reality, and by one of the incomprehensible transports of youth, he bounded from the hiding place, and with 2 strides, at the risk of being seen, at the risk of alarming Valentine, at the risk of being discovered by some exclamation which might escape the young girl, he crossed the flower garden, which by the light of the moon resembled a large white lake. And having passed the rows of orange trees which extended in front of the house, he reached the step, ran quickly up, and pushed the door, which opened without offering any resistance. Valentine had not seen him. Her eyes, raised towards heaven, were watching a silvery cloud gliding over the azure, its form that of a shadow mounting towards heaven. Her poetic and excited mind pictured it as the soul of her grandmother. Meanwhile, Morel had traversed the anteroom and found the staircase, which, being carpeted, prevented his approach being heard. And he had regained that degree of confidence that the presence of Monsieur de Villefort even would not have alarmed him. He was quite prepared for any such encounter. He would at once approach Valentine's father and acknowledge all, begging Villefort to pardon and sanction the love which united two fond and loving hearts. Morel was mad. Happily, he did not meet anyone. Now especially did he find the description Valentine had given of the interior of the house useful for him. He arrived safely at the top of the staircase, and while he was feeling his way, a sob indicated the direction he was to take. He turned back. A door partially open enabled him to see his road, and to hear the voice of one in sorrow. He pushed the door open and entered. At the other end of the room, under a white sheet which covered it, lay the corpse, still more alarming to Morel since the account he had so unexpectedly overheard. By its side, on her knees, and with her head buried in the cushion of an easy-chair, was Valentine, trembling and sobbing, her hands extended above her head, clasped and stiff. She had turned from the window, which remained open, and was praying in accents that would have affected the most unfeeling. Her words were rapid, incoherent, unintelligible, for the burning weight of grief almost stopped her utterance. The moon shining upon the open blinds made the lamp appear to burn paler, and cast a sepulchral hue over the whole scene. Morel could not resist this. He was not exemplary for piety. He was not easily impressed. But Valentine's suffering, weeping, wringing her hands before him, was more than he could bear in silence. He sighed and whispered a name, and the head bathed in tears and pressed on the velvet cushion of the chair, a head like that of Magdalene by Correggio, was raised and turned toward him. Valentine perceived him without betraying the least surprise. A heart overwhelmed with one great grief is insensible to minor emotions. Morel held out his hand to her. Valentine, as her only apology for not having met him, pointed to the corpse under the sheet, and began to sob again. Neither dared for some time to speak in that room. They hesitated to break the silence which death seemed to impose. At length Valentine ventured. "My friend, how came you here? Alas, I would say you are welcome, had not death opened the way for you into this house."
Valentine,
said Morel with a trembling voice.
I had waited since 8:30, and did not see you come. I became uneasy, leaped the wall, found my way through the garden, when voices conversing about the fatal event.
"What voices?" asked Valentine. Morel shuddered as he thought of the conversation of the doctor and Monsieur de Villefort, and he thought he could see through the sheet the extended hands, the stiff neck, and the purple lips.
Your servants, who were repeating the whole of the sorrowful story. From them I learned all.
"But it was risking the failure of our plan to come up here, love."
Forgive me. I will go away.
"No! You might meet someone. Stay."
But if anyone should come here...
The young girl shook her head. "No one will come. Do not fear. There is our safeguard," she said, pointing to the bed.
But what has become of Monsieur d'Epinay?
Monsieur Franz arrived to sign the contract just as my dear grandmother was dying.
Alas,
said Morel, with a feeling of selfish joy, for he thought this death would cause the wedding to be postponed indefinitely. "But what redoubles my sorrow," continued the young girl, as if this feeling was to receive its immediate punishment, "is that the poor old lady, on her deathbed, requested that the marriage might take place as soon as possible. She also, thinking to protect me, was acting against me."
Hark!
said Morrel. They both listened. Steps were distinctly heard in the corridor and on the stairs. "It is my father who has just left his study."
To accompany the doctor to the door.
"How do you know it's the doctor?" asked Valentine, astonished.
I imagined it must be.
Valentine looked at the young man. They heard the street door close. Then Monsieur de Villefort locked the garden door and returned upstairs. He stopped a moment in the anteroom, as if hesitating whether to turn to his own apartment or into Madame de Saint-Méran's. Morrel concealed himself behind the door. Valentine remained motionless, grief seeming to deprive her of all fear. Monsieur de Villefort passed on to his own room. "Now you can neither go out by the front door nor by the garden." Morrel looked at her with astonishment. "There's but one way left you that is safe," she said. "It is through my grandfather's room. Come."
Where?
"To my grandfather's room."
I? In Monsieur Noirtier's apartment?
"Yes."
Can you mean it, Valentine?
I have long wished it. He is my only remaining friend, and we both need his help. Come,"
Be careful, Valentine,
said Morrel, hesitating to comply with the young girl's wishes.
I now see my error. I acted like a madman in coming here. Are you sure you are more reasonable?
"Yes, and I have but one scruple, that of leaving my dear grandmother's remains, which I had undertaken to watch."
Valentine, death is in itself sacred.
"Yes. Besides, it will not be for long." She then crossed the corridor and led the way down a narrow staircase to Monsieur Noirtier's room. Morrel followed her on tiptoe. At the door they found the old servant. "Barrois, shut the door and let no one come in." She passed first. Noirtier, seated in his chair and listening to every sound, was watching the door. He saw Valentine, and his eye brightened. There was something grave and solemn in the approach of the young girl which struck the old man, and immediately his bright eye began to interrogate. "Dear grandfather," said she hurriedly, "you know poor grandmamma died an hour since, and now I have no friend in the world but you." His expressive eyes evinced the greatest tenderness. "To you alone, then, may I confide my sorrows and my hopes?" The paralytic motioned. "Yes." Valentine took Maximilian's hand. "Look attentively, then, at this gentleman." The old man fixed his scrutinizing gaze with slight astonishment on Morrel. "It is Monsieur Maximillien Morrel, the son of that good merchant of Marseille, whom you doubtless recollect." "Yes," said the old man. "He brings an irreproachable name, which Maximilian is likely to render glorious, since at 30 years of age he is a captain, an officer of the Legion of Honor." The old man signified that he recollected him. "Well, grandpapa," said Valentine, kneeling before him and pointing to Maximilian, "I love him, and will be only his. Were I compelled to marry another, I would destroy myself." The eyes of the paralytic expressed a multitude of tumultuous thoughts. "You like Monsieur Maximillien Morrel, do you not, grandpapa?" "Yes." "And you will protect us, who are your children, against the will of my father?" Noirtier cast an intelligent glance at Morel, as if to say, "Perhaps I may." Maximillien understood him.
Mademoiselle, you have a sacred duty to fulfill in your deceased grandmother's room. Will you allow me the honor of a few minutes' conversation with Monsieur Noirtier?
"That's it," said the old man's eye. Then he looked anxiously at Valentine. "Do you fear he will not understand?" "Yes." "Oh, I have so often spoken of you that he knows exactly how I talk to you." Then, turning to Maximillien with an adorable smile, although shaded by sorrow, "He knows everything I know," said she. Valentine arose, placed a chair for Morel, requested Gerard not to admit anyone, and having tenderly embraced her grandfather, and sorrowfully taken her leave of Morel, she went away. To prove to Noirtier that he was in Valentine's confidence and knew all their secrets, Morel took the dictionary, a pen, and some paper, and placed them all on a table where there was a light.
But first, allow me, sir, to tell you who I am, how much I love Mademoiselle Valentine, and what are my designs respecting her.
Noirtier made a sign that he would listen. It was an imposing sight to witness this old man, apparently a mere useless burden, becoming the sole protector, support, and adviser of the lovers who were both young, beautiful, and strong. His remarkable, noble, and austere expression struck Morel, who began his story with trembling. He related the manner in which he had become acquainted with Valentine, how he had loved her, and that Valentine, in her solitude and her misfortune, had accepted the offer of his devotion. He told him his birth, his position, his fortune, and more than once when he consulted the look of the paralytic, that look answered, "That is good. Proceed."
And now,
said Morel when he had finished the first part of his recital,
now I have told you of my love and my hopes. May I inform you of my intentions?
"Yes," signified the old man.
This was our resolution. A cabriolet was waiting at the gate, in which I intended to carry off Valentine to my sister's house, to marry her, and to wait respectfully Monsieur de Villefort's pardon.
"No," said Noirtier.
We must not do so?
"No."
You do not sanction our project?
"No,"
There's another way?
said Morel. The old man's integrative eyes said, "Which?"
I will go. I will seek Monsieur Franz d'Épinay. I am happy to be able to mention this in Mademoiselle de Villefort's absence, and will conduct myself toward him so as to compel him to challenge me.
Noirtier's look continued to interrogate.
You wish to know what I will do?
"Yes."
I will find him, as I told you. I will tell him the ties which bind me to Mademoiselle Valentine. If he be a sensible man, he will prove it by renouncing of his own accord the hand of the betrothed, and will secure my friendship and love until death. If he refuse, either through interest or ridiculous pride, after I have proved to him that he would be forcing my wife from me, that Valentine loves me and will have no other, I will fight with him, give him every advantage, and I shall kill him, or he will kill me. If I am victorious, he will not marry Valentine, and if I die, I am very sure Valentine will not marry him.
Noirtier watched with indescribable pleasure this noble and sincere countenance, on which every sentiment his tongue uttered was depicted, adding by the expression of his fine features all that coloring adds to a sound and faithful drawing. Still, when Morel had finished, he shut his eyes several times, which was his manner of saying, "No."
No? You disapprove of the second project as you did of the first?
"I do," signified the old man.
But what then must be done? Madame de Saint-Méran's last request was that the marriage might not be delayed. Must I let things take their course?
Noirtier did not move.
I understand. I am to wait.
Yes.
But delay may ruin our plans, sir. Alone, Valentine has no power. She will be compelled to submit. I am here almost miraculously, and can scarcely hope for so good an opportunity to occur again. Believe me, there are only the two plans I have proposed to you. Forgive my vanity, and tell me which you prefer. Do you authorize Mademoiselle Valentine to entrust herself to my honor?
No.
Do you prefer I should seek Monsieur d'Épinay?
No.
Whence then will come the help we need? From chance?
No.
From you?
Yes.
You thoroughly understand me, sir. Pardon my eagerness, for my life depends on your answer. Will our help come from you?
Yes.
You are sure of it?
Yes. There was so much firmness in the look which gave this answer, no one could, at any rate, doubt his will. If they did, his power.
Oh, thank you 1,000 times. But how? Unless a miracle should restore your speech, your gesture, your movement, how can you, chained to that armchair, dumb and motionless, oppose this marriage?
A smile lit up the old man's face. A strange smile of the eyes in a paralyzed face.
Then I must wait.
Yes.
But the contract?
The same smile returned.
Will you assure me it shall not be signed?
Yes, said Noirtier.
The contract shall not be signed. Oh, pardon me, sir. I can scarcely realize so great a happiness. Will they not sign it?
No, said the paralytic. Notwithstanding that assurance, Morrel still hesitated. This promise of an impotent old man was so strange that, instead of being the result of the power of his will, it might emanate from enfeebled organs. Is it not natural that the madman, ignorant of his folly, should attempt things beyond his power? The weak man talks of burdens he can raise, the timid of giants he can confront, the poor of treasures he spends, the most humble peasant, in the height of his pride, calls himself Jupiter. Whether Noirtier understood the young man's indecision, or whether he had not the full confidence in his docility, he looked uneasily at him.
What do you wish, sir? That I should renew my promise of remaining tranquil?
Noirtier's eye remained fixed and firm, as if to imply that his promise did not suffice. Then it passed from his face to his hands.
Shall I swear it to you, sir?
Yes, said the paralytic with the same solemnity. Morrel understood that the old man attached great importance to an oath. He extended his hand.
I swear to you, on my honor, to await your decision respecting the course I am to pursue with Monsieur d'Épinay.
That is right, said the old man.
Now, do you wish me to retire?
Yes.
Without seeing Mademoiselle Valentine?
Yes. Morrel made a sign that he was ready to obey.
But first allow me to embrace you as your daughter did just now.
Noirtier's expression could not be understood. The young man pressed his lips on the same spot, on the old man's forehead, where Valentine's had been. Then he bowed a second time and retired. He found outside the door the old servant, to whom Valentine had given directions. Morrel was conducted along a dark passage which led to a little door opening on the garden. Soon found the spot where he had entered, with the assistance of the shrubs gained the top of the wall, and by his ladder was in an instant in the clover field where his cabriolet was still waiting for him. He got in it and thoroughly wearied by so many emotions, arrived about midnight in Rue Millet, threw himself on his bed, and slept soundly. End of chapter. End of volume 3.
Yeah! Yippee!
Oh my gosh! Wow, what a chapter. It's a long one, man, but I can see why. Yeah, I'm glad that they didn't break it up. If they had to break it up, it would have been sad. All right.
That magazine that they did this in must have been like chunky. This particular issue.
Mm-hmm.
That was 50 pages basically.
Good on Ye for being the one to highlight it. Applause to Ye, the highlighting Miss Yunora for this chapter.
And I only made like 2 mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I made more than that in a 15-page chapter.
it
Fair
happens. It happens. I also did one, and I was like, wait a minute, what were the colors again?
No.
And I had to go back, and yeah, I had messed up. So it's not easy doing highlighting in your first time.
Oh, no.
So
That was actually my second time, but fair enough.
well, you're a couple of first times.
We got through it.
Yeah, we got through it. Yeah.
And then you get used to it, and then you make mistakes due to negligence and going too fast.
Because you're watching or like some other show on or you're listening to other people on the stream or whatever.
Yeah, I was listening to when I was highlighting. I was listening to you guys chat after one of the after the readings.
Okay, that's fair. Blame it all on us.
No, I don't blame it on you. I blame it on the author for
Dumas. What the heck?
Why does he call him Procurator? It's a one person, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't happen to know the intricacies of the attorney to the king being known as a provocateur or whatever.
Provocateur.
That, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't deeply read the chapters as I'm highlighting them. I see, text and quotes. I pick a color and I go.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty much.
I have to say, I was invested in my chapter. Okay, you guys, I got chapter 74. So 74, and then I was like, wait a minute, what's happening? Chapter 74, and then I did, I think, one titled The Lemonade. I was like, oh my gosh! So I was deeply invested in the proceedings of my chapter. So much so that I forgot the colors of my characters. So,
No, Patrick, the buck stops with me.
Wait, what's going on?
Patrick was saying, pass the buck.
Oh.
My response is, no, I'm taking the buck. Too bad. But I will say I liked the long, like, oh, we cannot be together. Oh.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's a little. It's supposed to.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm in the chat quoting Romeo and Juliet while you're doing that.
Yeah. It's all beautiful and tragical, but really, like, Morrel is kind of manipulating poor Valentine pretty hard there.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Talk about toxic. That was. So
I love you so much, and I'm just gonna kill myself if you don't do what I want. So
yeah.
Okay. Put that on your conscience.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
If they find me dead somewhere, it's your fault.
I mean, I know of people that have done that. Like if you like leave me, I will kill myself. Yeah, that was so toxic. Like I know they gave it they gave it a romantic spin here, but it's not romantic. Oh gosh, yeah. You gotta hand it to 19th century romances like that.
It's romantic, just not that kind of romantic.
The Romeo and Juliet kind of romantic, I guess, maybe.
Oh, I was gonna go more like the like horror stories of gothic romance.
Yeah, that too. But like also the fact that Romeo and Juliet is usually seen as like the epitome of like pure sacrificial love when like it starts with Romeo like crying about like not being able to have a girl called Rosamond, and then something, and then like you turn the page and who's Rosamond? Who? Like, okay, so yeah, teenage love, sheesh. I think it's just because it's teenage love, man.
True, but I will say this much for Romeo and Juliet. Who is it? The friend of Romeo who gets stabbed, and he should be asking for medical attention, but the entire time he's too busy joking about his mortal wound.
Oh no!
Like, God, what a mood!
Bertuccio? I
don't remember.
I forget who got stabbed.
He gets killed by Tybalt, and it's just like,
Tybalt.
Dude can't stop joking even when he's bleeding out. I know this is me.
Dude's a mood, yeah.
I feel seen.
Oh gosh, yeah. You gotta hand it to classic literature. It never gets dull. Unless it's Dickens. That's where it gets kind of dull.
Yeah.
But never a dull moment, at least with the Count of Monte Cristo. Like, it's been one heck of a ride, man. In this chapter, we got, like, toxic boyfriend. Then we got, like, abetting murder. Or something. What? Concealing? I don't know. What would you call in court when somebody knows about a crime, but they kind of, like, conspiracy? I don't know. Because... whatever.
Yeah, they're definitely covering up a crime.
Yeah, there's covering up a crime, and the doctor is like, okay, fine, I won't call upon like another doctor for a second opinion, but this definitely looks like poisoning. Yeah. And meanwhile, I was like, I felt like this kind of like chill, like this kind of like really sinister visual in my head when like the whole house is dark except for like the windows at Madame de Saint-Méran's, and also one silently burning lamp at the red curtain window of Madame Villefort. Like, ooh, that was a nice visual, nice little detail. Yeah.
It was a good one. It is. I will say this much. Dude does not like subtext. Dude found subtext and has repeatedly stabbed it. Just like in the back of the knees, elbows. Like it's there, it's slowly crawling away, but it's not going to make it very far.
I like how sometimes characters will react in a surprising kind of way, and then he has to explain why they reacted that way. Like he's expecting people to be like, well, that was out of character for them. It's like, no, you don't understand, because when you're in that much grief, it makes you dumb to your other emotions. You stupid.
I think it's a word count situation. I think it's like, I could fit
perhaps, but he was already doing quite well this chapter. I was also surprised that he didn't actually have Morrel explain his entire history with Valentine to Nordier.
And that's actually a story that I'm kind of curious about. Yay?
Yeah, I think his editor had to pull him back from that one. No, you can't just summarize the entire story again. Stop it.
Oh my gosh. I am curious though, how like, I want to know about their romance. Like, how did he manage to catch her attention? Because obviously they revolve around different social circles. That's I don't know if they've gone through the story.
Well, based on his behavior, I assume negging is involved.
98% of it has happened through that fence.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Basically, he bought a field. He bought a field, and with it came a bride. I don't know, man. Oh, golly.
I think it faces out onto the street, so he's just there on the street, just like holding hands through a fence. She must have been sad one day. He was passing through and he's like, "What's wrong, mademoiselle?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm sad because I'm just so pretty." And he's like, "Okay, well, I'll take your word for it. Let's get married."
You know what? In this world, this strange world, it would have happened. I love the fact, by the way, that it's just like there was the sound of a kiss. I was like, "Oh, they finally kissed." No, it's
blew a kiss.
No, there was only like if anything, he's only ever kissed her hand. So it's like, get your minds out of the gutter, you filthy scum. It's like, what? Yeah.
He was like, "I won't even kiss your forehead till we're married."
No, but he did kiss the grandfather's forehead, so.
Well, Grandpa got there first.
Oh, grandfather's leavings. I don't know how I feel about that.
It was funny. He was like giving an ineffable expression, a could not be understood expression. I'm like, he's like, "This is okay," or something.
Yay.
Yeah. Dumas is. I have to question Dumas. He's not writing these people horny enough to be French.
They are.
I think going forward, I'm gonna have to. Shit, what's that guy's name? The one who's been hired to be the son.
Oh, hired to be the son. That is
Andrea de Cavalcanti.
Cavalcanti.
Yeah, I think we need to just exclusively now begin voicing him as Pepe Le Pew.
He's French, but he's supposed to be Italian at the moment.
Oh, no, fair enough.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more Fabio.
I think what they lack in horniness, they lack in suicidal tendencies and stabby urges. That's usually typical of a French novel too. Like, "I will kill myself from despair," or "I will kill you for love," or whatever. I don't know.
I mean, I'm really hoping that at some point Edmund is going to get around to some of the whole revenge stabbing.
Yeah, there was a shocking lack of action from Edmund in this one.
Oh, save it for volume 4.
Yep, I'm done.
4.
Come on, Edmund. Get your head in the game. You got to get all these people to suffer cruel fates.
Get around. Tell us anything.
Well, tetrophobics know better than most that 4 is a dangerous number.
I myself, I'm a lover of 4, so I'm a tetrophilic. Yeah,
sure.
That's my lucky number.
Yeah,
so
4 is a good number.
It's a good number. Yeah. So I'm excited for that.
Does that mean that you're into foreplay?
Yay!
I am the horny French.
I mean, who isn't into foreplay? Hello, if you're not into foreplay, you're anyway. Excuse us. Back to yay! Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yes, he's like, well, this novel hasn't been horny enough. Let me make the stream horny.
Yes,
exactly.
All right.
But yes, the French and all of the silly. But yes, what is it? Isn't it like 4 is death and like
yes,
Japanese or something?
Chinese and Japanese.
Ooh,
is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure about Korean, but
I don't know. Cuatro. That's all I know, Spanish. All right. That aside, anything else about this chapter that struck you as interesting, or you want to call out Dumas for?
Yeah, come on, Dumas, lean in. Stop writing such toxic characters.
Exactly. So I like the fact that at least Nortier is like the one like stern character in this instance to like put on the brakes for these wild, crazy youth. Because like he's like, okay, I love your granddaughter. This is my plan. We will elope. No, okay, then I will stab and kill Franz and duel him if he won't relinquish his claim or his whatever. He's like, no. He's like, wait, those are the only 2 options. You're like, those are the only. Yo.
I do appreciate
the grandfather Nautier. I'll just stab Franz Debonnet to death in a duel. And Nautier's like, oh god, that sounds amazing. He's like, has to hold himself back from saying, yeah, do that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he kind of like has to like pause.
Hold on, let me think. How'd that work out? No, we can't.
No, it would not do good.
Unfortunately, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, because it says Nortier watched with indescribable pleasure. Hold on, let me see. I found it. Indescribable pleasure, this noble and sincere countenance on which every sentiment his tongue uttered was depicted, and by adding the expression of his fine features, all that coloring adds to a sound and faithful drawing. Still, when Morrel had finished, he shut his eyes several times, which was, yeah, he was definitely like, I like that plan. And where he, you know, he was in his day and age, in his time, he was a very rash man. He would have gone with that plan, but, you know, now he knows, like, there is a risk of Franz being a better swordsman, or, you know, things strange, or other things happening that will, you know, especially because Maximillien says, like, I will do it with honor. It says, I will give him every advantage. I will fight him, like, with honor, whatever. It's like, yeah, if you go in that way, you're probably going to, like, be stabbed in the back or something. So yeah, there is the risk of something going wrong with that. And also murder. You don't want to start your happy life by killing somebody, you know? So good on Nortier to extract from Maximillien an oath to be patient. Yeah. So
I could indirectly be responsible for killing the guy's son too.
I just end an entire lineage.
And the entire DNA line, and I'm paralyzed.
Yeah, that's still.
Just wait till you find out how he intends to do right by Morrel and Valentine.
I'm in tenterhooks. I need to know, because he's saying wait. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know what he's gonna do, because like he already did the whole thing with the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know what power he has left to flex here. I'm looking forward to it.
We'll see. I am excited for the next couple of things. I think I got a hint, so we'll see. I'm really, really happy we got to 73. It was quite a long chapter. I'm actually kind of tired. I think I'm gonna go lie down for a bit. But this was definitely one that was worth waiting for. Next week, you guys should join us. We're gonna read volume 4. Let's see, volume 4 starts. Oh, it's 4 out of 5. So we still have 2 more volumes. Oh shoot, the next image. The first couple of images. Oh my. All right. Well, anyway, chapter 74 is titled The Villefort Family Vault. Okay. So let's see what happens in that chapter.
Next time on the Count of Monte Cristo.
Thank you for that. You guys, we had so much fun. I hope you had fun. I was super, super happy to be back after 2 or so weeks away. Thank you to the people that read today. We had Peel reading Maximillien Morrel and Dr. Dabrigny. We had Yay reading Gerard de Villefort, and the other procurator who's also titled Gerard de Villefort. Sorry, that was just hilarious.
I was not thinking.
I read today the narrator role, and that was also Valentine de Villefort. And we are so thankful for Yay, who highlighted this chapter. Patrick and Butterfly and everybody else who's watching with us today. So happy to have you guys here. We'll hope you join us next Friday. Until then, take care, everybody. Thank you, gang, for joining me today. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.